Hey everybody, time for another narrative. Remember, narratives are not real but appear to be real, seem to be real, because they're told to be real, but they're not real. They're actually true stories that never happened. Okay, so here's a true story. I just got back from the Getty. It was a perfect day. They were nice to me. I'm like, wow, this is incredible. They asked me if I had any markers in my bag, and I said no. And they pulled out this whole thing full of markers. They go, what's this? I said, those are pens. And she goes, oh, okay. And she let me go. This is great. So like I always tell the students, take something, change it 20%, you're good to go. So it's not a marker, this is a pen. She goes, okay. I spent a lot of time, I put it up on Instagram today, in the Rubens room. That's my favorite room. There's just so many memories of Rubens. And I think that's probably, there's an emotional component, because out of all the people I've worked with back in the olden days, 600 years ago, Rubens was the most, and we spent a lot of time together. A lot of projects. So one of them that comes to mind was we were all sitting there. So you know how like in a studio, you gather in and then they give you your scenes. You know how they do it. They'll just give you a stack of scenes and you key them, bring them out in the apartment. Well, it's pretty similar back in the Renaissance day. So we'd all gather in the meeting in the morning, waiting for the Pope, and he would come in. He hated me, but that's okay. They'd hand out the assignments. So that day, Michelangelo and I think Cambiasso, which was a strange combination, but they did it that time. They were assigned to paint Jesus on the cross. I was like laughing. The Pope, ignoring me. So they went off to do that. And then Leonardo da Vinci was doing a portrait of the Virgin Mary, a baby. And I'm laughing. The Pope goes, what's your problem? I go, Jesus Christ, Pope. Okay, I'm sorry, but geez, I mean, they did that yesterday. And the Pope goes, yeah, but now they're going to do it from this angle. All right, fine. It's just normal stuff. I got up to go because I figured I had nothing going on today. I was going to go out and do something different, maybe do some sketching in the local center area, grab a cheeseburger and a Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has been around that long. Coca-Cola, was actually done first in the Garden of Eden. I'll get a burger, Coke, and some fries, and relax and sketch everybody. So I'm leaving. Rubens was still in the room. And Pope goes, hey, smartass, get back in here. I'm like, yeah, Pope, what's up? He goes, you and Pete Rubens are going to illustrate for the church the killing of the innocents. So I didn't know what that meant. So I talked to one of the Christian friends on the street, and they were handing out pamphlets, which was really expensive back then. Because like today, if you hand out a pamphlet, trying to convert somebody, they print them. But back then they had to get one of the monks to like, get in there and really do it. So if they were going to try to convert you, they really wanted you because it was handwritten. Jesus loves you. Okay, that's nice. I'm going to get a cheeseburger. Where was I? I was going to have a cheeseburger, but now, so the killing of the innocents, I didn't know what it was. So I went to one of the people preaching, and I go, what does this mean, dude? And I wasn't using slang. His name was actually Dude. He goes, it's the killing of the firstborn. I go, oh, shoot. That's tough. So I went back in, and I figured, I got to figure this thing out. Pete Rubens, he's such a detailed guy. We'd never get this thing started. I'll bring him back later. Sent him off to go get some props or something, I figured I need babies. We got to slam some babies. So what I did was I called back the guy. I said, hey, instead of handing out those "We love you" pamphlets, can you do some marketing for me and let everybody in the town know that I'm opening a daycare and it's free for one day? He goes, that's crazy. I said, I know. I'm a kind person. Just let everybody know. Free daycare, one day, and we'll give them the day. He goes, all right, I'll let them know. So I did that. Next thing I needed somebody who didn't mind slamming babies. So I kind of put word out there. It was kind of weird because I got a lot of people. So that was weird because I'm a grandpa. I love babies. So okay, you're weird, but you stand over there. So I got somebody who doesn't mind slamming babies. I needed babies, so we'll get to that in a second. I needed a girl who's really good at yelling, no, 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 stop. So that was easy. It's just anybody can do that. So we had that. I wanted a really kind of pretty girl who could scratch a guy's face, and I needed a guy who loved it. So that was kind of an S&M thing. I just went to San Francisco. It was easy. They're all over the place. So I did that. I got this guy, and he had scratches all over, and she had long nails, and whatever. That was their business. But it worked. So I got that. So I needed a woman who can scratch a guy's face and have him going, oh yeah, that hurt me some more. So I got that. I wanted an old woman with a saggy boob, like really old. I think she was like 110 years old, and her boobs were like 150 years old. So I wanted that. She had to be able to bite a guy's finger. So we tested it, and it worked. In the olden days, she bit other things, but now it was a finger, and it was fine. So we have that. She also had to have a lot of calluses on her hands, and I didn't want to know how she got those, because she's going to hold on to a sword. So she's going to bite a finger while grabbing a sword while sagging in the booby department. So it took a while, but we found her. We need a guy with a big hat, kind of going like that. So I just went to USC. They're all over the place there. So I got that. These people, USC's been around for like 900 years. Then I needed kind of a pretty girl. And Rubens always hired the same model, and she didn't know why she was hired. In town, she was called the booty girl because she had this great set of hips. Rubens liked round women, and that's why they came up with the term Rubenesque, you see. And that's been going on. Rubenesque, that term's been around for a really long time. So you got Rubenesque, and we hired the booty girl. Well, that was easy because she's in all the paintings anyways. So now it's time to get the babies. So what we did is on that day, the babies all showed up. So I was standing outside and I was organizing. By this time, Rubens was back, and he was working on everything in the back and setting things up, setting up the scenes, setting up the props. Perspective wise was easy because it was a Renaissance. Everything had perspective. So we found a location, and he was setting everything up just right. I mean, Rubens is the best ever, period. The only one who can compete with Rubens, of course, is Villepeu, and I would put them on the same track. They're just both incredible. The best artists to walk the planet would be Peter Paul Rubens and Glenn Villepeu. Luckily enough, I got to work with both of them. Now, Pete's in the background working. The babies are showing up. I'm standing in front. I'm saying, okay, listen up. All the girls over here. So they all went that way. They're all taken care of. All the boys over here. Now, within the boys, the firstborn, we have a special room for you over here. So the parents brought the firstborn, and we had quite a few. That was pretty cool. So we did that. We had our stage, and we had them all ready to go. We sat there with just real soft tools, soft pencils. You don't want to do it with really hard pencils. Nice soft. Your hand can move real quick. And what we're going to do is when the action took place, we're just scribbling. We're not rendering. We can do that later. We're just going to scribble. This process has not changed. It's used in animation, used in illustration. It was used back then. So we're sitting there, and we're ready to go. I've got a lot of paper, real soft lead, and I was using Prismacolor because it's been around that long. As soon as we say action, we're scribbling the energy. Again, we're not doing detail. If you're at a school and they're making you just render out every little detail, your jobs are really narrow. We want to go for the energy, the emotion, the feelings, the gesture, the story. I said, okay, action, bam. Guy slams the baby. Woman's going, no, no, no. At that point, the woman goes up and scratches the guy's face. Her hand comes down, gets grabbed by, she's holding a baby. The woman next to her is 900 years old. Saggy boobs are flipping all over the place. They're flying in the wind. She grabs a sword. She's loving it. She has her mouth over here. This guy takes his hand and just shoves it in her mouth, and she bites his finger. And then right next to them is the booty girl bent over the way Rubens liked her, just bent over, beautiful orbs of buttock, just beautiful, and babies are getting slammed all over the place. You only got one shot. We're scribbling like crazy. Cut. Done. Here's the problem. You can only do this once because a if you try to do it again, you can't slam a dead baby the same way you slam a live baby. An ante-mortem baby will slam different than a post-mortem baby. Okay? So it worked out really well, and we had, blue babies on the floor, and we had blood against the wall, and it worked out perfect. And then what we did is we took each component. The booty girl, she liked to bend over anyway, so she bent over, and I think Rubens, he loved it, so he was drawing her out. I'm more of a gesture guy, so I was having fun drawing the guy slamming the baby against the post. For the baby, though, because he could take that pose like this, but not have the baby in the right pose. But what I did, I came up with the idea, let's put Velcro on the baby's back and then put the baby over a barrel. You see, because that'll give it you know, the right pose. See, so we have the baby on that, and that be there forever. So Velcro's been around that long. And then I could get in there and work out the details. The woman and the guy, biting, scratching the face. They did this all the time anyways. We always say, what you guys do behind closed doors is your business. They didn't mind doing that again. So she took the pose, and we, again, just took the scribble, just went to shape and then to form, and then put in the drapery, which is anatomy on the outside. And it worked out great. The old lady, she loved it. So we did that. Her hand was all callous anyways. I don't know what she did when she was young. That's her business. And we have that on the sword. And it worked out really good. Perfect. That process hasn't changed. Concept first. Concept. What's the idea? That's what we do. We are visual communicators. So we scribble it out, show it to our leads. They say, hey, I want to do this here, I want to do this here. They'll be able to recognize the scribbles because we're all doing it. They say, yeah, that looks good. So then you go to shape, you put in the shapes, and you show it back to your lead, and they go, yeah, it's good design. That works. It's nice. It's kind of a Rembrandt, Rockwell, Leyendecker thing, with a little bit of Frazetta and some anime. Yeah, it all works, right? So you got that style in there, and the shape will do that. And straights and curves, Cal State Cool, Cal State Bitchin', and the wave. Then cross contour it. So now it works in 3D, so you can put it in with the perspective. Throw in some values, maybe a little color comp. They'll show it to the client. Client goes, yeah, that looks great. Set the location, which is usually Cabo or someplace, because that's where they want to go to spend the customer's money. Set up the photo shoot. Hire the models. Process hasn't changed in 600 years. Okay? So that's what we want to do. You want to see the painting? All right, Corey. Show them the painting. Okay, you ready? I was just over there. Now I'm over here, which Corey's got to cut together. For the, you guys can see it. Here we go. Here's the painting. It's a little glare for me. So this is the Slam the Baby guy. And you can see we got this wonderful gesture, great line of action, and then, it just really works in animation. Got the baby's got that nice line of action, just continues. So we'll draw this. It'll be the wave. It's so beautiful. We got the elevator and escalators. We're going to get into composition. This is the no, woman. No. And another no. So those are just incidentals. This is the couple that liked the S&M. What it was she's scratching his face, and it's kind of crazy. Look how intense that is. And so she's doing that, and she's holding the baby. Here's the old lady. We got her, and she's got this hand coming out. Look at the hand on the sword. And this guy's a nice diagonal. And another woman in the back. Here's the booty girl. And then the perspective, basic, background. And then you have the babies down here. What a brutal painting. I mean, this is an absolutely brutal painting. I was shocked when I saw it, and even more shocked when I heard the story. See, as a kid, I only studied art. Sunday school rabbis never liked me. Hebrew school, Sunday school teachers never liked me. Never read any of the Bible at all, which I know will piss some people off. I do nice things because what you're supposed to do, but not because I'm going to get something in the end. wow, what a brutal painting, but what a masterpiece. So what we'll do is on a bunch of videos, we'll break it down and I'll show you the composition. We'll draw the figures and the drapery. Everything we need is in here. Okay. We'll end with an almost true story that really never happened.